Got a lot of bands, got a lot of shit on me. Guys, gals, and guests, honey. Yes, honey. Welcome to the mess, honey. Tonight we got some mess, honey. Yeah. But you know how we give it up, and you know how we get it started. One time for the one time. Got the right bitch. No lefty, walking my truth. Don't fuck with my step team. Crawl for you, walk, run it, catch me. Got a sharp tongue, spit it, machete. Mean beat, but a nigga never slept me. Watch your mouth unless you wanna catch these. Mic check, testing. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh, can you hear me? We got a lot to talk about tonight, y'all. We got a lot to talk about tonight, honey. We got a lot on the agenda tonight, baby. We got to talk about Usher and Keke Palmer. Yes, honey. We got to talk about them. We got to talk about this Vanderbilt scandal, Vanderbilt University Medical Center. We got to talk about what's going on out there in Tennessee, out there at Vanderbilt, honey. We're going to discuss a little bit about T.S. Madison and who else we got on the docket for the night. Wayne Brady and some other things, baby. But I said that I was going to do a check-in with y'all today. I said that I was going to do a check-in with y'all. Hey, AR. Hey, Sean. Thank y'all for being here. I wanted to fill y'all in on why I haven't been the most available to be making more content, why I haven't been the most available to be posting on TikTok and all of the things, baby. I've been busy in real life, honey. I've been busy doing real life things, honey. I got 2 job offers last week. Now, these is regular 9-to-5 psychology jobs. They're both contracts with the government. I keep telling y'all, I could come on here and say what I want, and I'm still going to have job security because I'm good at what I do. And I'm never going to say anything purposefully to disrespect anybody unless I feel like they need to be disrespected. But yeah, I got 2 job offers, and I got a 3rd job offer as well, honey. I am now part of a podcast, Marsha's Plate. Honey, yes, hosted by Diamond Styles, aka Diamond Collier. Yes, we're going to have to give Diamond a shout out. I'm going to have to pull her up at some point so that y'all can get into the teas. I need to get all the information for the podcast because it's sad that I'm on the damn podcast and I couldn't even tell you where to watch it or how to watch it. But we're going to figure that out. Shout out to Diamond again for giving me a paid gig. Yes, honey, I get paid to be on the podcast. Honey, stop playing in my face, baby. Honey, big racks, big moves, honey. All right. I've also been dating. Now, I don't know if y'all know this T, but in doing content while dating, it has fucked my dating life up before. Honey, it has messed up situations and potential. I done fumbled. I fumbled a trans man on here running my damn mouth. A black transgender man. Child, it's fine. Everything happens for a reason, baby. No shade. I don't regret it, honey, because a lot was exposed. I found out that we wasn't compatible. But anyway, I also learned to stop telling my damn dating business on this internet while it's happening. So, I can fill y'all in on shit after it's already said and done. Basically, long story short, so that I'm not fucking up a current situation. So that I'm not messing up a current situation. You know what I mean? I don't want to mess up nothing current. Y'all know how these, honey, y'all know how these children get on here, honey. You've been looked. I've been finally made it to 1 million subscribers, and somebody been came out with a motherfucking scandal talking about I outed them on my damn live stream or something, honey. You can kiss my ass, honey. I don't even date nobody close to that, baby. Last I told y'all, I was interviewing for a friend with benefits. Yeah, for FWB. I've been interviewing, taking applications and stuff. You know, I started linking up again. I had started linking up again with a tradie butch queen from my past. You know, You know, that's the closest I'm gonna get to the trade baby is a tradie butch queen, honey. And no shade, baby. He was too much trade for me. That's why he's allowed to be talked about because it's past tense, honey. Too much tradie shit. I ain't for no whole bunch of a bunch of extras with the tradie baby. You ain't got nothing to prove to me. Toxic masculinity is not a turn on for me, baby. Knowing how to read and write is, knowing being socially aware, being intellectual, all those things. Anyway, child was drug dealing till I had came past my last stint in the hood. I lived in the hood 2018. I lived in the hood up until 2018, honey. My last little stint in the hood came across this tradie butch queen child. Still can't tell y'all how he found me, but he had found me on Facebook, honey. We kikied and cut up or whatever. Started seeing him again when I was single. He, never had the chance to really go the distance with the child because he can't stay out of jail for more than 5 minutes. Soon as I start seeing him on a regular basis, honey, you look again, he's locked up, honey. And no, I'm not accepting no collect calls, and no, I'm not sending no commissary, honey. Baby, you couldn't even make it to being my man, and you want me to hold you down? Child? That jail gonna hold you down, gonna hold you down, gonna hold you in place, baby, and I will see you when you get out. I'm not even gonna pretend. I'm not one of them girls. I'm not gonna pretend. A lot of y'all hoes out there pretend, and you gonna hold him down, and all of that, honey. No, no. When you go to the gated community, baby, we are now in a non-monogamous relationship. I'm just being honest. Just telling the truth. Anyway, start seeing the child again. Let him slay me. If the tradie butch queens ain't good for nothing, slaying you into a box is what they good for. Child slay me into several boxes, honey, baby. Child, I'm still using boxes for recycling. I still got extra boxes. If somebody is moving, let me know. I'll send you one of the boxes I got slayed in. Child slayed me in the box, honey. I ain't been a cream puff puss like that in a long time, but it was well needed. It was well needed. Versatile butch queen. I said trade butch queen. Versatile, honey. I get versatile skits, and he got cakes. The tray always got the cakes, and the tray always got the best dome, baby. The tray to go bobble, baby, honey, and trade will make them things clap, honey. You would think that you was at Magic City. Magic, what you said, Puss? King of Diamonds. Puss said you would think you at King of Diamonds the way he be in her clapping them cheeks, honey. But yeah, honey, only got to have the child one time before he done started fucking up again. I done told him, I was like, I'm gonna give you a chance. I'm gonna give you a chance this time. You ain't been arrested in 2023 yet. And it's been 8 whole months. Maybe you could stay out for the whole year. I'm gonna give you a chance. The tradie part of the butch queen setup. Long story short, I don't have a fuck buddy at the moment. I've been talking to somebody. I've been seeing somebody. I've been seeing somebody who I like. But we taking our time. We taking our time, honey. We taking a little more time sexually than I wanted. But baby, who knows? Who knows what'll happen? Pray for me. So yeah, so between the new job offers, I'm onboarding right now for one of the government contracts. I'll soon be onboarding for both. I haven't decided which contract I'm gonna take because they're both full-time positions. The hours would interfere, so I can't take both of them. But I'm onboarding for one, and it's very low-key, low stress. I'm taking a pay cut. And I think that that's the one that I'm going to take. I purposefully wanted a low-stress job, a job where I really ain't got to do shit, so that I can sit at work and work on my content and be prepared to come and talk to y'all and all of the things, get the party started. You know what I mean? What do y'all think? Yes, I'm giving you allowance. I'm giving you allowance to have an opinion about my life. I'm giving you an allowance to have an opinion about my life. What do y'all think? Do y'all think that I should take the low-stress job so that I can keep making content, bringing y'all decent content? Or do y'all think that I should say fuck the content and go back to work making a competitive wage in psychology. What do y'all think? Let me know in the chat. What y'all doing in this chat? Sean said that they was on a handstand and twerking during the opening song. I've been getting a lot of compliments on my opening song. Unfortunately, my opening song, I think that I'm going to have to change. I am playing around with some stuff, playing around with some beats, playing around with some ideas. I met a few producers. So yeah, we'll see. Because I don't know if y'all know, but my intro song is produced by Timbaland, and it is actually copywritten by me. Yes, yes, yes. Timbaland gave the beat out for free, and I took advantage of it. Thank you. Shout out to Timbaland. Monica made it 2 days in a row. Hey, Monica, I see you. Mel, you better not have missed. Mel, you better not have missed. Thank you for being here, Mel, honey. Yes, honey. Thank you, AR. Thank you, Mel. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, everybody, for the congratulations on the job offers. Yeah, I gotta get it. I told y'all, I gave myself a year. This past year, I've been fortunate enough to monetize my platforms, build a platform big enough to monetize on both TikTok and here on YouTube. So y'all supporting my YouTube definitely helps your girl out. So it wasn't all the ways. I didn't blow up and become, the female Dr. Umar and nothing like that, tranny Umar or nothing. That didn't happen over this past year. But we made some steps. We made some strides. Sean said, "Are you polyamorous?" Sean, I am not poly. That is the one thing that I've discovered. I've experimented with non-monogamy. I'm open to the possibility of non-monogamy in a long-term relationship. But ideally, I would like to establish a long-term monogamous relationship before non-monogamy is even a consideration, if necessary at all. I have been in monogamous relationships that have worked for me. Like, the monogamy was never an issue. The person fulfilled me completely 110% sexually. So I know that it's possible. However, I've never been with anybody for 10 plus years. My longest relationships have been 4 years. So I don't know what would happen after the four-year mark. I have examples of healthy long-term relationships in my life, and a lot of them have experimented sexually. Everybody's saying take the low stress job. Thank y'all. That's what I've been hitting toward, the low stress job. But let's get into the tea, y'all. Let's get into the tea. Enough about me. Thank y'all for humoring me. I will keep y'all posted on my dating life as time goes on. I will keep y'all posted on what is happening with this very special person that I am seeing. And real quick, Mel asks, have you ever been in love? I have been desperately, madly in love, Mel. Absolutely. I am a romantic. I think I blame my first love for me being a romantic. It's his fault. He was too good. He was too dope of a guy, and he had the nerve to be a cis man of color. Afro, Latino, Puerto Rican. Child, that's another story for another day. Let's hop into it, honey. See what's going on. Child. Jesus, honey. The white people just got beat up on the boat. But apparently it's something contagious going on, because the white delegation ain't seemed to get it together yet. Have y'all seen this video? I got a couple of questions. About Karen and Toy. I got a couple questions about the trailer park cracker couple or carpet flyer. No offense to the Arab community. I mean it in love. Y'all got to remember, I'm black. I'm at the bottom of the totem pole. I can't be racist. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. What's going on with the crackers allegation? Mm. Lord, honey. I think the clear people need their Prozac. Baby, have y'all ever heard about this? Where is the tea? Where is the TMI? Oh, here we go. Have y'all ever heard about this? The red dress run. Let me put it into perspective for y'all. So y'all could get into this thing. The red dress run, have y'all ever heard of that? In New Orleans. In New Orleans. Honey. Y'all heard of the red dress run? Well, baby, I heard of the red dress run because I had seen the red dress run, honey. I popped up on my Instagram feed, and my very sexy, attractive friend, Trey Love, shout out to Trey Love, honey, was in his red dress. Now, I know my friend Trey Love to be, one of the gender non-conforming models, you know what I mean? I known that, but I had never seen Trey in a red dress or whatever, and I got into the material. Trey, for me, y'all know I don't typically do the skinny. Y'all know I like them thick, I like them fat, I like them chubby, I like them overweight, obese, plus size, you know. But Trey is an exception for me. And what I think it is, I think it's personality. Trey got BZE. Trey got BZE. But then I started seeing a whole bunch of butch queens on my timeline in red dresses. Now, if you don't know me, then baby, androgyny is the key to a brick situation with me. Ready to go, to get me ready to go. Honey, all a butch queen gotta do is switch a little bit. If I'm dating a butch queen's on their time, honey, I'm telling you. You think I wouldn't? Girl, honey, we both be in our red dresses, honey. Easy access, lifting the dresses up, baby. I'm here to tell you. You think I wouldn't? Get into the material. Well, let me tell y'all what the red dress run is first, but before we, really get into the material. The red dress run apparently started in New Orleans. White kind of Becky had came through and was very much given dressed in her red dress, and her friends was all looking at her like she was crazy because they was like, girl, we about to run. It's giving a charity running situation, like a cancer run, lupus run, whatever run, run for the border. And, she came in her red dress ready to go. Get into the material. Honey, child, let's normalize men wearing dresses. Honey, y'all live for a great sweatpant. I live for a dress. Do you see what I see? Whew, Jesus, breathe again. But anyway, Becky Ann had showed up in her red dress or whatever, and all the girls was like, girl, what is you giving, girl? What is you doing? We got to run. So Becky Ann said, oh, well, I'm still going to support the cause. I'm going to run in my red dress. So now it has become an event all over the country. I believe it's the first or second Saturday of August. You can Google it to find out for yourself. Red Dress Run. The biggest one takes place in New Orleans, but they take place all over the country. And you being out in your red dress, these days the children don't be running, they just be carrying cocktails in their red dress. You are supporting various local charities, any charity of your choice, but by wearing your red dress, you are showing your support for philanthropy on the day of the red dress run. I'm informing y'all because I think that it's time for the Negro population to take over another holiday, honey. Yes, honey. Ain't nothing wrong with stealing Becky's idea. Becky had a good idea, a good thought. She said she was going run and support the charity regardless of what she was wearing. So now we got Black men out here wearing dresses and showing off all of their edges. And, oh, Jesus, my Lord. Honey, a table, honey, a wooden table, hard as a brick. Girl, shout out to Trey Love. Go and support and follow my friend Trey Love on Instagram, on the IG. Yes, yes, honey. Yes, 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 yes. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful gowns. Beautiful gowns. All of the red dresses were beautiful, honey. Baby, support the red dress run now, Jesus. All right. I don't know if y'all heard, but honey, Wayne Brady came out as pansexual. Word of the day, pansexual. I just used it a couple of seconds ago. Pansexual. Yes, yes, yes. Your favorite questionably queer TV host is no longer questionable. He's queer. All right? He's out and proud, pansexual. And instead of the world and the media being happy for Wayne Brady and congratulating Wayne Brady on coming out as pansexuals, everybody got so many damn questions, remarks, concerns, understandings. Now, first of all, y'all already knew that Wayne was a queer, honey. Y'all knew it. All of his wives knew it. Wayne been knew it too. That's why, Wayne was hanging out with all of them white people and stuff, because you black folks, was clocking his tea and treating him different. Anyway, Wayne Brady came out as pansexual. Like y'all know, I'm pansexual. Pansexual is just like bisexual on steroids. Pansexual people, we are attracted to people regardless of genitals, gender identity, or expression. For example, Wayne Brady could be attracted to somebody who identifies as a stud. He could be attracted to masculine women, feminine women, cisgender women, trans women, masculine men, feminine men, cisgender men, trans men. Really, pansexual came along to acknowledge people's attraction to transgender people. With me being primarily attracted to other trans and gender nonconforming people, I'm very pansexual. So it's really just an acknowledgement, it's for people in the back of the class. Y'all can call it bisexual if you want, but in actuality, bisexual refers to somebody who's attracted to men and women. By saying that you're pansexual, you're saying that you're attracted to people who identify as men, women, who don't identify with neither, or who may identify as both. Yes, shout out to Wayne Brady. Wayne Brady kind of became a little low-key attractive to me after he came out. It's weird. He always gave the goofy nigga tea. You know what I mean? And I've never been one to really reject the goof. But, Wayne Brady gave me a neo tea as well. It's like him without a head was like a scary situation. But now that he done came out, it's something, I find something attractive, something endearing about Wayne Brady now. Yeah. It makes sense to me now, instead of Wayne being an Oreo, Wayne has been a queer. It fits. It works for him. Shout out to Wayne. Beautiful gowns. Wayne, the link for my IG is in the bio, in the description of this video. Wayne, my link. Feel free to click that link, hit them DMs, Wayne. It could stay between me and you, trust me. I wouldn't be pressed for nobody to know. Mel says, asked me if I prefer dating trans people. I prefer dating trans people, yeah. I do. I prefer dating trans people. But trans includes non-binary as well. Trans includes agender. In my head, not on paper, not in actuality, but in my head, somebody like you, Mel, falls into the gender nonconforming spectrum. So that's androgynous, and it's still, and androgyny still turns me on. A man in woman's clothes, a woman in men's clothes, um, trans people passing or not, trans people binary or not. Yeah, I like the things. I like the in between, honey. It's it's like black people. Once you go black, you never go back. Once I had trans, I decided to stay over there. I like it. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. I like the juxtaposition. Um, it started out as it started out as purely a physical sexual thing at first. Like it was like a fetish for me, I guess. But then I grew up and I learned and I evolved as a person, and yeah, I realized that Mel just threw me off because Mel said that they're gonna start transitioning. We going we gonna go to the next subject, but I realized that I'd be dumb as hell to be insecure or secretive about my attraction to people who a lot of people may not deem attractive. Trans, non-binary, androgynous folks. It is what it is. Child, honey, I stumbled. Y'all, if you new here, I'm not a big fan of him. If you new here, I'm not a big fan of this roast beef sandwich looking motherfucker. No, he's the turkey sandwich. He's the turkey. I'm not a big fan of this roast turkey sandwich looking motherfucker. Not a big fan of Jason Lee. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. But I came across his interview with the TS. I came across his interview with Maddie or whatever, and I live for Maddie, so I decided to watch the interview. Shout out to Maddie. Jason can fall down. But yeah, a couple things came up, and I just wanted to breeze across it. Feel free to go and check out the whole interview. I think we just going to run across like 2 questions, I think.
Let's keep it real, Jason. I never grew up in the night. You were only a punk or a dyke. Them the days. You was a punk or you was the dyke.
And before a punk, you was a fag.
The fag.
I mean, people don't want to.
You was the faggot, punk, or dyke. That was it.
That's what it was.
But
where do we go from being able to just say that to cis, bi, trans, they, thou, them?
Because visibility happened, respectability happened. People were occupying spaces.
Non-binary. So now on your birth certificate, they want to say you're non-binary. How can you be non-binary on a birth certificate?
Well, this is just your identity. You don't adhere to the binary. You don't adhere to.
But female. Isn't this just is it getting out of control, and are we to blame for it?
What's getting out of control is the lack of wanting to be educated on it and adhering to being knowledgeable on it and respecting. That's what it is. We still want to be in the space of being able to say faggot, punk, and dyke.
And get to the same place that I can say if any of my friends identify as them or they, just don't come over, because I don't want to say they upstairs. I just don't want to say
you don't know
they out that them can come over, because now if I say, hey, it's getting out of control, and are we to blame for it?
What's getting out of control is the lack of wanting to be educated on it and adhering to being knowledgeable on it and respecting. That's what it is. We still want to be in the space of being able to say faggot, punk, and dyke.
And get to the same place that I can say if any of my friends identify as them or they, just don't come over, because I don't want to say they upstairs. I just don't want to say
you don't know
they out that them can come over, because now if I say, hey, can you tell them?
I had to take a breath. And this is exactly why I'm not a fan of the roast beef sandwich. Y'all know that he's supposed to be a gay man, right? Child, and then he want to call himself black. He's one of them people who I wish called himself biracial. So I have a little more separation from him, because I don't want him to be a black queer. Like, he is just, like, why do we have all these trash ass black queers in the head of media? But shout out to Maddie. I'm going to let Maddie run it.
To give me the soda, and they say, don't call me them, I'm he. Okay. Well, now I'm in a problem and I'm getting canceled.
Yeah, but
I'm confused.
No, Jason. This is why it's important to ask. So, and I told you this the last time when I was on you. When we first met, I said the most important thing that you can do is ask. Hey, I want to respect you. What you eat? When you're confused, How do I address you?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
When you're, because I've been in spaces where I've been like, oh shit, me.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, how I do this? Okay. Yeah. Hey, sweetie, what would you like for me to? How do I address you? Oh, it's she and her, they and them. Okay.
That's it. That's it. Common sense, right? Common sense, right? I'm gonna let my good sis finish off and hit the target.
Sweetheart, what's your name? That's when I'm confused on how to say they and them. Sweetheart, what is your name?
And then you just call
Baby, if more people had this motherfucking common sense, honey. If more people had this, baby, that child is. Ain't nothing I could say. Ain't nothing I could say. Maddie said it all. I think they touched on something else. Let's see. Let's see what it's giving. Let's see if it's material. Let's see if it's material.
Especially if that's something that she's not using anymore. Mm-hmm. Listen, we all know that Joan Crawford's name was Lucille Faye LeSueur. We don't know that. We know her as Joan Crawford, and we refer to her as Joan Crawford because that's the name that she goes by. Anything else outside of that, she don't need to even answer that because that's not her name anymore. You know, and so when you start getting to the space, Jason, we know you as Jason Lee. If you come out tomorrow,
but I had another name.
You had another name,
and I dated that name.
And you dated that name, and it's disrespectful.
And there are people who still try to call me by that other name, and I'm like, no, that name, he doesn't exist.
Yeah, don't answer to that.
And that right to be called what I want doesn't change because I also identify as trans. But they see it as an excuse to attack the trans movement.
It's very important that people understand that transphobia, like I said in my initial statement, affects all women. Not just some, it affects all. Because 2 days prior to that, a biological woman was murdered because they thought that she was a transgender woman.
But that's what I don't think people understand. Black women and black trans women are like the most targeted women in the world.
Yes.
And that's like the similar connection that I don't see why people don't see that.
Well, because
like, even with issues like Roe v. versus Wade being overturned and other like progressive rights that women have earned and fought for, that trans women are also champions of. Well, like, why aren't we focused on those things that matter to the woman experience?
It is all.
Okay. Jason said some things. Jason still didn't redeem himself in my book, but you know, he had to come up to Maddie. He had to come up to meet Maddie. You know, he had to come up. He had to step it up. He had to step up his puss. Had to step up his cookies. Hey, Model Ingenuity. Model Ingenuity says he irks me. Yeah. I compare Jason Lee to a dry turkey sandwich. Just because he looks like sliced turkey. You know, deli sliced turkey. He used to look like about a pound of, you know, regular, not seasoned, low sodium. He looked like about a pound of that, and not no boar's head or nothing like that. You know, that turkey that's pressed, that same type of turkey that you get in a banquet dinner with, but they put gravy on. Jason reminds me about a half a pound of that turkey, sliced up. Yeah, because y'all know he got the gastric bypass and stuff. You know he was a little yellow M&M, and now he had the gastric bypass, so you know he got all the skin hanging under his clothes and stuff. You know, so I'm sure he looks like a deli style turkey sandwich, but he's dry like one too. It need a little something. Need a little something. You could just throw it in the trash. Ain't no mustard. Ain't no nothing. And then he's gay, but he's not even a good gay. Like the only gay gene that's activated in him worth activating is you know, he can read a little bit halfway. He ain't gonna open up the library. You know, Jason Lee is not the type to read and open up the library. You know what I mean? He's the type to get read, you know, and shut the library down. But he's not a reader that'll open up the library. He got a little section. He do the kids corner. He do the, you know how the drag queens have the little story hour? That's Jason Lee's ability to read over there in the kids section. Yes, very great value. Very great value. Press, deli, turkey, dry. What's the bread that the white people like? Rye, the rye bread. Yeah, it's on there. No mustard, no mayonnaise, honey. Not even no ketchup, no Thousand Island. Mm-mm. But we got to talk about Vanderbilt, honey. We got to talk about Vanderbilt, honey. Tennessee. Now, we've been telling y'all that these dumbass anti-trans laws was going to affect all trans people. We keep telling y'all, and y'all still trying to vote on it. Vanderbilt University Medical Center, Tennessee. Honey, the children is suing them. The trans people is suing them. The trans people is suing Vanderbilt University Medical Center, honey. Yes, honey. They didn't release over 100 patient files. Vanderbilt released over 100 patient files, honey, and the children is suing them, honey. I don't mean no harm. I wish I went to Vanderbilt so that I could get a couple coins off the lawsuit, honey. Baby, Vanderbilt. But let me tell you how it started. It started with this MFer named Matt Walsh, honey. Matt Walsh said that him and his team was investigating the transgender child clinic at Vanderbilt in Nashville, honey. Said that Vanderbilt was drugging, chemically castrating, performing double mastectomies on minors. But it gets worse. And then Matt goes on to have a whole thread. He says Vanderbilt opened its trans clinic in 2018. During a lecture the same year, Dr. Shane Taylor explained how she convinced Nashville to get into the gender transition game. She emphasized it's a big money maker, especially because the surgeries require a lot of follow-ups. Keep in mind, Matt followed up all of these posts with video clips on Twitter, right? Now, before we watch these videos, I want you to keep in mind that these are snippets, that nowhere on his Twitter in any way, shape, or form to this day have Matt given people access to these full lectures that he has snippets of. Run it.
Starting in January 1st of 2017, according to the Affordable Care Act, insurance carriers are mandated to cover medical expenses for trans folks. Some of our BUMC financial folks in October of 2016, starting a couple years ago, put down some costs of how much money we think each patient would bring in. And this is only including top surgery. This isn't including any bottom surgery. And it's a lot of money. These surgeries make a lot of money. So female to male chest reconstruction can bring in $40,000. A patient just on routine hormone treatment, who I'm only seeing a few times a year, can bring in several $1,000s. That requires a lot of visits and labs. It actually makes money for the hospital. Now, these I got from the internet, but it's from the Philadelphia Center for Transgender Surgery, which does a lot of surgery for patients. That's how to give you an idea of how much these bottom surgeries are making. And I think this has to be an underestimate. This is for a vaginoplasty. They're quoting roughly around $20,000 for a vaginoplasty, but that doesn't include your hospital stay. That doesn't include your post-op visits. That doesn't include your anesthesia, your OR. So I would think that this has to be a gross underestimate. I think that's just like the surgeon's piece of it, which anybody who's ever been in the hospital knows that that's like 10% of it. And then the female to male bottom surgeries, these are huge money makers. Again, I think this has to be an underestimate that they're quoting around $20,000 for a phalloplasty. There's been different things that I've read that said it could be up to $100,000. Dr. Winokur, who's our surgeon, says that there's entire clinics where the entire clinic is supported just by their phalloplasties, and that is like a fraction of the surgeries that they're doing. These surgeries are labor intensive, they require a lot of follow-ups, they require a lot of OR time, and they make money. They make money for the hospital.
Now, just in this snippet, being someone who would likely make these kind of speeches to a room full of medical professionals, right? I could tell you that in 2017 and 2018, when we were having these conversations as medical professionals with other medical professionals, we were simply stressing the importance of trans medical care. This is somebody who is simply expressing the importance of trans medical care, and in the process, she is informing them that now trans medical care in their state at their facility is being covered by insurance. Yes, the same trans health care that they're trying to take from us, it was just granted to us. We just started being able to get these surgeries right before they took it from us. Again, that lecture was from 2017, right? And she's talking about the money because realistically, we live in a capitalist society. You know, big pharma is a thing. But instead of Matt Walsh wanting to talk about the bigger issue, which is big pharma, the bigger issue, which is insurance in America, the bigger issue, which is medical issues only being taken seriously when there's a dollar amount attached to it. Instead of Matt Walsh wanting to have these conversations, he wanted to demonize this woman in her lecture, Dr. Shane. Matt goes on. Matt posts in the same day, in the same thread, in 2022, Vanderbilt was apparently concerned that not all staff would be on board with trans medical care because of their religious beliefs and consequences, blah, blah, blah. That's what Matt says. Now let's listen to the actual lecture.
If you are going to assert conscientious objection, you have to realize that that is problematic. You are doing something to another person, and you are not paying for the cost for your belief. I think that is a real, I think that's a real issue. So I think, so yes, Vanderbilt, if someone has a conscientious objection to participating in this sort of surgery, it probably has to accommodate you to the extent that you can find another person who can do the job, who doesn't have an objection, other things of that nature. But I just want you to take home that saying that you're not going to do something because of your conscientious, because of your religious beliefs, is not without consequences. And it should not be without consequences. And I just want to put that out there. We are given enormous, if you don't want to do this kind of work, don't work at Vanderbilt.
Now, this is a lecture where Dr. Ellen Clayton was simply stating that now transgender care was being offered at Vanderbilt. A piece of a lecture where Dr. Ellen Clayton was explaining to the staff that now transgender care was being offered at Vanderbilt. She was giving those physicians, she was giving those doctors, she was giving that medical staff the allowance and the heads up that, look, we're going to be treating trans people here now. If you have some moral, personal, religious beliefs that would prevent you from treating transgender patients properly, then we're asking you to leave now. That's simply all that was. That was not her threatening to fire anybody or anything like that. Nothing that she said in that portion of that lecture, in that portion of that speech, is nothing that, people don't follow in their Hippocratic oaths. When you decide to become a medical professional, you are constantly signing waivers and contracts and disclosures and, being insured and all of these things, with the promise that, and with the security that you are providing proper, equal care to all patients. Somehow Matt Walsh found a way to vilify that. Well, I ain't gonna say somehow. Matt Walsh found a way to vilify that because people want an excuse to hate trans people. And that's just an acknowledgement that at a lot of medical facilities, if you refuse to treat trans people, you're out the door. It's truth. It's facts. It is what it is. Same thing goes for any other patient with any other condition. For those who argue that us trans folks have some sort of psychological condition, I mean, even if it's a psychological condition, it should be treated properly. Stop playing in my face. But Matt went on, and y'all, I'm filling y'all in on this tea because this is how all of these laws got started. Now, I'm going to put the pieces of the puzzle together for you, but this is how all these transgender, protect the trans kids, protect the children from the trans, this is how all this legislation got started. Matt continued on his thread on Twitter, where he vilified Vanderbilt, where he also vilified Vanderbilt's Trans Buddies program. He also insinuated that children having access to an older trans person to assist them with their medical care was unsafe. Let's take a look at a snippet of the Trans Buddy Program Coordinator video.
My name is Sean Riley, and I am the Program Coordinator for Trans Buddy at the Program for LGBTQ Health at Vanderbilt University. Trans Buddy provides trained peer advocates for transgender patients who are coming for doctor's appointments or other healthcare-related services. Whether you're looking for something that's related to medical transition, such as hormone therapy, or something completely unrelated, like breaking an arm or going to an ENT, we are here to help support any transgender patients that come through our doors. The Trans Buddy program was organically created through the efforts of transgender people and continues to consistently be led by trans people in Middle Tennessee. The Trans Buddy program is a one-of-a-kind in the nation, and institutions are looking to Vanderbilt to replicate and expand programs like ours.
We're not seeking to find solutions often for people's problems. We're just seeking to be there and to accompany and to be a friendly face, and to be a non-medical face in a place where everybody coming in the room is going to be a healthcare provider and may be unsafe.
Sometimes I'm there to be always observing kind of how hospital staff are interacting with the individuals, and again, using correct pronouns or treating the individual with respect.
Again, Matt Walsh found a way to vilify trans advocates and activists who are spending their time in the hospital just to make sure that equality is going across the board. I don't need that. The math don't math for me. If you can explain the issue in the comments for me on why a trans person having access to another trans person is an issue. One of the biggest issues for us trans people is that we don't have community. We don't know anyone like us. We don't have the proper representation. We feel like we aren't seen enough. Same complaints. We complain to y'all all the time. In a lot of cases, I can tell you from a psychological standpoint that Trans Buddy programs, which essentially like a big brother, big sister program, but for trans people, programs like that can be all the gender affirming care that a patient needs outside of therapy, just to navigate their transness properly and make sure that they're trans. Because there are people who deal with other psychological issues and they grasp onto transness. A very small number of people. We call them detransitioners. There's a very small number of people who grasp onto transness just because of their love and acceptance by the trans community. because we do tend to love and accept our own. So for a lot of people, a lot of kids, a lot of trans kids, having an older trans person as a mentor, as a guidance through their medical care, may end up being the person that helps them to realize that they're not trans. I don't know how Matt missed that point, because that goes with his agenda. That goes with Matt's agenda to eradicate trans people. And if you don't believe me, keep watching. Matt was on a roll on this thread. Don't worry, I ain't gonna feed y'all Matt too much. This is one of the last little scriptures that we got by Matt today, honey. But Vanderbilt ended up deleting and removing all of their transgender care stuff as soon as the laws were passed in Tennessee. The anti-trans bills were passed in Tennessee. Vanderbilt basically erased and deleted everything from the internet. And I guess Matt took this as fuel for his fire. I mean, Matt, you helped to create laws to vilify trans people, and then you mad when they start taking stuff down to protect trans identities. It's the child. If you a conservative in here, if you a colonizer in here, you know, if you cracking the whip in here, can you please break it down to me? What's the issue? But let's watch the Vanderbilt video.
We can provide gender-affirming hormones on an individual who is on a pubertal blocker, depending on whatever kind of blocker they've chosen or we have discussed with them, or they can present to us at a later stage of puberty, and then we provide the gender-affirming hormones. Previously, the Endocrine Society recommended to start these at age 16, but we all know that would be delayed puberty, right? Not 16-year-olds don't start puberty. So more recently, they did update that to say as early as 14 for compelling reasons. So we have some individuals who have started gender-affirming hormones at 13 or 14 to be more like their peers. Again, fertility preservation and consent are very important to discuss prior to any initiation of these.
Okay, again, I want to add some context to this because, you know, we're going to have the conversations tonight. I got the time and energy. I'm going to add a little context. As she said, regarding gender-affirming care, regarding the child who is binary trans, has severe gender dysphoria, cross-sex hormones would be introduced when I was growing up around 16, 18, depending on the person's particular puberty. Now they've changed it. They dropped it down to 16. They dropped it down again to 14. Keep in mind, these cross-sex hormones, you know, the estrogen, the testosterone, the synthetic hormones introduced into the trans kid system would not happen until a certain point in their pubertal development. It's arguable. I'm going to keep it 100 with y'all because that's what I'm here to do. My personal thoughts, I wouldn't recommend considering cross-sex hormone therapy until, honestly, 17. Just based off of my knowledge of the science, just based off of my own personal experience. Keep in mind, I am one trans person. There are about 1 million of us in this country, right? I'm one. I do not speak for all. I personally don't recommend introducing estrogen or testosterone into your system synthetically in early teenage years. I don't. Puberty blockers are a different thing. Puberty blockers are reversible. The use of puberty blockers are reversible. When you get into introducing testosterone and estrogen into your system, then you start to get the irreversible changes. And realistically, there are people who transition for the wrong reasons in many cases. I feel like the plastic surgery options that we have, you know, the psychological care access that we have, I think that you could deal and you could cope and you could manage your gender dysphoria if you are doing the puberty blockers to stall your puberty and until you're in your late teens, early adulthood. My personal belief. Now, keep in mind that my belief is based on my experience as well. And in my experience, I had a late puberty. I didn't start estrogen until my early 20s. But I didn't really start going through puberty until my late teens. For a lot of people, they start going through puberty, especially people with a more aggressive puberty. They start going through puberty in earlier adolescence, 10, 11, 12 years old. I didn't have that experience. We'll get into it more. We'll get into it more though. We'll get into more of those teas. But she was given that video. She was talking. She was just giving informing the medical professionals that, you know, the rules have changed a bit and that, you know, depending on the child, they could start testosterone or estrogen at 14 years old. All right, Matt, this is our last post from Matt's thread, honey, because I really can't believe that Matt's thread, that this dummy really propelled this whole system of laws that's being considered in this country, the biggest topic of our election, is going to be this post, what Matt posted, this thread. So Matt insists that after the kids have been drugged and sterilized, Vanderbilt then performs double mastectomies on adolescent girls. Let's get into the video.
So when we talk about the WPATH guidelines, so in order for our patients to really successfully undergo these surgeries, we do again follow these guidelines. So a lot of times it's for insurance purposes, but again, insurances kind of follow suit with the WPATH guidelines for the most part. So for any kind of top surgery, we do require one letter of persistent, well-documented gender dysphoria by a licensed mental health provider. We ensure that the patient is capable of making fully informed decisions on their own. They're the age of majority. However, for a lot of our younger patients, again, if they are 16, 17, here at Vanderbilt, if they have been on testosterone, have a parental consent, we're able to do a lot of the top surgeries for those patients.
All right, she's breaking down the changes. The whole point of this lecture was she was breaking down the changes in the laws regarding people being able to get top surgery. There are different requirements for top surgeries than there are for bottom surgeries, number one. Bottom surgeries aren't even considered for children in this country. Again, bottom surgeries aren't even considered for children in this country at all, of any age. You have to be at least 18 years old to get bottom surgery. And bottom surgery requires, for all who don't know, that's any type of genital surgery, any type of transitory genital surgery. Bottom surgery requires the most extensive of the psychological treatments. That's like the most safeguarded of all of the trans surgeries, which I agree that it should be. I'm a little blown away. I'm a little taken aback that the laws in Tennessee were what they were. The last I checked, in Maryland, you needed at least 2 psychiatric professionals to sign out outside of the people who are going to do the surgery. In order for you to even be considered, before they would even schedule you for a consultation, you have to have at least 2 sign-offs from psychiatric professionals. So that blew me away a little bit that one psychiatric professional could sign off. I personally, as a psychiatric professional, wouldn't feel comfortable having somebody, especially a child's, gender affirming surgery, irreversible surgery in my hands. I wouldn't feel comfortable with that. Top surgeries are more reversible for male to female trans, getting breast implants, getting bags, silicone bags. They can be taken out, and you can also have liposuction and skin, chest lifts and skin grafting and stuff done to get rid of the excess flesh and skin. For a lot of detransitioners who are male to female who have gotten breast surgery, who I know personally, and I don't know many, I know one. And I know a lot of trans people. I know one person, male to female, who's detransitions. Yeah, you get the bags taken out and you're fine. Now, if you had severe breast development from hormone therapy, then you may have to have a double mastectomy to have a flat chest. Again, these are all things that I'm not scared to say publicly, because these are all things that trans people need to know and be aware of. A lot of things regarding transition are irreversible. If you're female to male, honey, that voice ain't going. Once that voice is deep, she's deep, honey. Baby, you going have to do some vocal therapy, and you still going to sound like, me or Maya Angelou or Eartha Kitt or some damn body. Ciao. But instead of a medical professional like me being able to change and potentially propel laws regarding trans people, a medical professional of trans experience who has had most, if not all, of these medical procedures done to me personally, instead of them asking people like me my opinion, instead of them checking for my opinion because it's all over the internet, they go to people like Matt Walsh. Matt Walsh, the theocratic fascist. For all of the kids in the back of the class who don't know what a theocratic fascist is, I know y'all probably hear fascist a lot. I'm going to break it down for you. A theocratic fascist, a term has been used to describe organizations and movements that combine religious elements with fascism, receive support from religious organizations which espouse sympathy for fascism or fascist regimes, in which clergy play a leading role. Yes, honey. Yes, I needed some milk on that last one. It was too many S's, honey. My accents don't work well with all them jeans and salad beans. But a theocratic fascist is basically a fascist who believes that the government should run what all of the citizens do. The government should be in control of what all of the citizens do, but the government should also be run by a particular religion. Matt Walsh says that he is a theocratic fascist. He claims that title. A fascist is a way of organizing a society in which a government ruled by a dictator controls the lives of the people, in which people are not allowed to disagree with the government. That's a fascist alone. Ruled by a dictator. A government ruled by a dictator. People are not allowed to disagree with the government. That's a fascist. Matt Walsh is a theocratic fascist, which means that he believes that the government should be ruled by a dictator, should control the way the people live, the people shouldn't be able to disagree with the government, and the government should be religious based. The issue with that is that we as humans never can agree on one religion. So what religion do you think Matt would have the U.S. being ran under? Take a wild guess, honey. I keep telling y'all, if y'all ain't seen The Handmaid's Tale, y'all better go ahead, because the United States is turning into Gilead. I told y'all I got my passport on the way, honey. Don't act surprised when I roll out. Matt, the theocratic fascist, Matt, who says that the government should be ruled by a dictator, a religious dictator. Matt is the one who they trusted to do the investigation on Vanderbilt and Nashville. The religious ruler, the religious dictator. Bitch, I keep telling y'all, honey. If y'all ain't getting into the tea now, honey, when y'all living in the Hunger Games, y'all gonna look back on this video like, oh, Bre Starr was on to something. Oh, Jesus what? So Matt does this thread, right? And of course, that gets a lot of people riled up. And that was last year, September. That was September 2022. He was getting the people riled up about speeches made from medical professionals in 2017 regarding trans care. Shout out to Obama. Obama was the one who allowed us to get all of that trans care in place, trans health care in place. And by the time we get to Biden, they trying to take it. No, they're not trying. They did. Vanderbilt was shut down. Vanderbilt, but the university, the medical center is still there. The trans clinic is no longer there. Is no longer there. And this was something else that had an effect on it too. We can't give Matt all the credit. Matt picked up a lot of his notes from a queer white woman, Miss Jamie Reed. This was in February 2023 when she released her memoir about how she regretted working in trans healthcare. Her memoir, Miss Jamie Reed. Miss Jamie Reed has a transgender husband. Miss Jamie Reed has a transgender husband. Y'all heard what I said. Her transgender husband is helping to raise all of her biological children. And they have a couple of adopted ones. Now, Jamie released this statement. Jamie had gave a dramatic expose about the medical clinic that she was working at. Trying to find out the name of the place she was working at. She may not. Okay. Jamie was working at Washington University School of Medicine, Division of Infectious Diseases. And then she ended up working with the transgender children over there. Jamie made a couple of points. In Jamie's expose, she talked about how she felt like the transgender kids weren't aware of all of the side effects that came along with the medications, with the puberty blockers, and with the cross-sex hormone therapy. The biggest thing is sterility. The biggest thing is infertility. Putting someone in a position where they won't be able to produce children naturally, right? A lot of kids aren't going to understand that. I agree, a lot of kids aren't going to be able to process that, and that's why I have my beliefs regarding cross-sex hormone therapy. I think that it shouldn't be an option for children as well. I think the earliest you should be able to get it is 17 or 18, 17 in a special case. But also keep in mind that I'm not somebody who's ever dealt with severe gender dysphoria. Compared to a lot of people I know and a lot of people I've treated, my gender dysphoria has been pretty mild. But also keep in mind that I went through a late puberty. So by the time I started hormone therapy, that would have been like the average person starting hormone therapy as a late teen. She also talked about, Jamie Reed also talked about her disgust in the irreversible double mastectomy, aka top surgery for transmasculine individuals. This surgery is irreversible in the sense that if at some point somebody assigned female at birth wanted to be able to breastfeed, they wouldn't. If they wanted to detransition, the possibility of having big breasts won't exist. Even if you get implants, they will only be able to be a certain size because of the chest constriction, the lack of skin and tissue that's now there to support the implant. So points were made. Something that Jamie also discussed that kind of blew my mind. She discussed how in this particular facility they neglected other mental illnesses that could have caused people to want to be trans. I'm going to quote the article directly. Besides teenage girls, another new group was referred to us, young people from the inpatient psychiatric unit or the emergency department of St. Louis Children's Hospital. The mental health of these kids was deeply concerning. There were diagnoses like schizophrenia, PTSD, bipolar disorder, and more. Often they were already on a fistful of pharmaceuticals. This was tragic but unsurprising given the profound trauma some had been through. Yet no matter how much suffering or pain a child had endured, or how little treatment and love they had received, our doctors viewed gender transition, even with all the expense and hardship it entailed, as the solution. Some weeks it felt as though almost our entire caseload was nothing but disturbed young people. Again, Jamie made some points. It's a couple points made there. Trans people, especially younger trans people, especially younger people questioning their gender identity and their gender presentation, they're very likely going to deal with some mental health issues, even if it's nothing more than unmanaged trauma from living in a transphobic society. When you're Black and you grow up in an inherently racist society, you will experience trauma just living in that society. It's the same for trans folks. When you're transgender and you're born and raised and navigate through a transphobic society, you will experience trauma. And yes, gender nonconforming kids, gender questioning kids, trans kids do experience trauma very young, which is why the psychological aspect of transitioning for a lot of people is more difficult than the physical transition. And I can tell you that from personal experience. So Jamie made some points. And I'll give Jamie the floor. And it's very possible that Jamie was working in a facility that was unhealthy for all children. There's a possibility that Jamie was working in a facility where they wanted to experiment on children. It's possible that Jamie was working in a facility where they were not experienced or educated enough with trans people to properly treat trans children. This is one of the reasons I went into healthcare as a trans person. It's the reason that all of the trans people I know in healthcare went into healthcare, so that we could actually protect our rights, protect ourselves, and protect our community from within the healthcare system. Yeah. I can imagine, just like with any other marginalized community, there will be some places that take advantage. So I'll give it to Jamie. Jamie, maybe maybe you're absolutely right. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Maybe the place that you works for was trash. But that's not who Matt got investigated. You talking about what's going on over there in St. Louis, Washington, and all that. Honey, Matt then got Vanderbilt and Nashville investigated, honey. Baby, honey. And mind you, Jamie's article came out after Matt already got this BS started. Jamie's article came out February this year. Matt got all this started last year, September. Child. So, honey, here is Matt and the former, now fired colonizer.
Well, Vanderbilt Hospital, I mean, we reached out for a statement when we first published the report, and at first they didn't want to give a statement, and they actually just took down, as you mentioned, they just deleted, that's what people have to understand, they deleted their entire transgender clinic website. They wiped it from existence. And then today,
I already told y'all the tea on that. They deleted the transgender website because they knew that they were being came for. They knew that the law was coming for them. They wanted to be able to protect not only their transgender patients, but also their transgender staff. But keep going, Matt.
Today, not to us, but in general, they released a statement. And the interesting thing about the statement they released is that they do not, while they start by claiming there's misinformation and so on, they don't actually factually dispute anything in my report because they can't, because everything that I said wasn't me saying it. I was just providing video evidence, much of which you played there. Well, we know for a fact this.
Matt, you provided video snippets that didn't give the full context of the medical conversations. Matt, that's what you did, Matt. And Matt, you missed a whole lot of points because you was busy trying to vilify these people who was offering trans healthcare. Keep in mind that the trans healthcare providers are not trans. They're only going by what they taught. They're only going by what they know. And that's why y'all need to listen to us trans people.
This is an absolute fact that Vanderbilt, they perform double mastectomies on minor girls, on children. They chemically castrate children, and they give them irreversible.
Okay, Matt, let's talk about the double mastectomies. My own view on the double mastectomies, they should not be done on people under 18. They should not be done on people under 18. This is another reason why puberty blockers needs to be offered for children. I feel that puberty blockers should be offered for children as soon as they start going through puberty if they experience the necessary, if they fit the criteria. If they experience the necessary feelings, dysphoria, then yes, they can go on puberty blockers. They can go on puberty blockers, have a word with the puberty blockers until you turn 18. Then you're old enough to start being able to consider and make decisions about procreating and irreversible changes to your body. Because to keep it 100, from a pro-trans standpoint, which honestly I always am, y'all just don't see it. But from a pro-trans standpoint, there are a lot of us trans people who did develop secondary sex characteristics of our sex assigned at birth, our gender assigned at birth, and we're not mad at it. There's a lot of girls, all of the trans models wouldn't have their contracts if they wasn't tall enough. So yeah, I say all that just to say I agree with Matt on the double mastectomies. But if you allow children puberty blockers, they won't need double mastectomies. That will stall and pause breast development until they're an adult, and they can make a decision then whether they want to develop breasts or whether they don't. From my understanding, if a child is treated properly with hormone therapy when experiencing the required gender dysphoria, surgeries aren't necessary for them to pass. Those tend to be the trans people who never get surgery and never get clots because they went to high school as their assigned gender, as their gender assigned by themselves. So I agree with Matt on that one, on the double mastectomies. Matt, you might have made one point, but you didn't make the full point, Matt, because Matt trying to prevent people from using puberty blockers, and if they don't use puberty blockers, then that's going to be more money spent by the insurance companies because everybody going to have to get double mastectomies.
Hormone drugs that change their bodies permanently. They're doing all of that to kids. And the other thing we should note, and I'm glad you mentioned all the other hospitals around the country, because the things I just mentioned, that's happening all across the country in every single state, in many hospitals and in many other medical clinics. All of those things are happening. And one of the reasons why it's allowed to keep happening is because people don't know about it, because they're not talking about it. And I think for a lot of average Americans, people just walking down the street, it's sort of unthinkable. They can't imagine that this sort of thing is actually happening, but it is, which is why we have to start by raising awareness about it, and we have to do that no matter the game the left.
Okay, he's right again. I think Matt is right again, baby. Don't stone me, honey. Judge your mother. I think Matt is right again. We should have had these conversations. But the reason trans people have always felt uncomfortable having these conversations is because we had a feeling that y'all were overreacting and doing exactly what y'all are doing now, attempting to take our rights from us instead of helping us get to a point that is fair. Fair for us, fair for society, fair for the people who questioning their gender identity, fair for the people who deal with mental health issues that make them want to run and be accepted by the trans community. I never understand why people decide to be part of marginalized communities. But hey, baby, I'm a psychologist. I'm not meant to understand every trans person, honey. I'm here to learn about y'all. I'm here to learn about y'all. Woo! I'm sorry. I apologize. I went on a rant. I done been on here for an hour and 30 minutes. Honey, I hope, Mel said it's 1.6 million. Thank you. 1.6 million trans people. And, less than 1% of them detransition. So it's a possibility, but it's a very small possibility. So Mel says, I feel like the laws made for trans is not made for black trans, but it's my opinion. Mel, you made a point. And when I was talking about Jamie Reed and the expose that she did, the place that she worked, the place that she said, was essentially throwing hormones and surgery at trans kids, they only had one black patient that Jamie remembers. So all the rest of the trans kids that they were treating, all of these trans kids who were running to the trans community because it was a trend, or running to the trans community for acceptance, they were all white kids except one. So Mel, you might have a point. Mel also says, I'm bringing up the debate that I feel like the trans women get more negative reactions than trans men, and it's bringing me to the double standard. People who accept trans women, accept two women together, but not two men. People definitely accept gender variance and sexual variance in people who are assigned female at birth. People definitely in this society, in American society, people are more accepting of people assigned female at birth being sexually variant and gender variant. If you're assigned male at birth, especially in the black community, those laws and rules are a lot more strict for you. Hey, Ashawn. How you doing, Ashawn? All right, baby, let's get into, cause I didn't kept y'all long enough. So baby, let's get into the tea that y'all want, and we're gonna get up out of here, honey. Now, honey, y'all know we already talked about Keke Palmer and her baby forever on TikTok. If you wasn't there, here's the flashback.
Congratulations!
Oh, you my girl. Yes, girl.
I should stay in this relationship when I'm hurting, baby. I ain't happy, baby. But there's so many other things I gotta deal with.
He trying to get you with somebody that has a plan to have something. That's what I keep trying to get you to do. You can't quit bringing these.
Generation
You need
of
something
zillionaires.
with somebody with something. Quit trying to give a boy your lifestyle and he ain't earned it.
Run away.
I hate to say it. I hope I don't sound ridiculous. I don't know who this man is. I mean, he could be walking down the street. I wouldn't know a thing. Sorry to this man.
Okay, yeah. So that was a little playback, honey. Keke Palmer went to the Usher concert, honey. Her baby daddy got mad. Honey started talking about she was a mother. Started talking about her outfit was, a little thotty. And all of those things or whatever. Keke Palmer looks gorgeous. Love Keke Palmer. Beautiful gowns. Yes. Child. Usher and Keke Palmer then capitalized off of the situation if you didn't know. Honey. Baby, you better. Keke Palmer stays with a job if she don't do nothing else, honey. I know what you're not going to do in Keke Palmer house, talking about Keke Palmer not paying no bills in Keke Palmer house. Watching Keke Palmer, baby. While Keke Palmer was at the Usher concert. Being Keke Palmer. Now. Yeah, honey. They capitalized. They said that they was going to do a video for y'all. Said that they was going to do a video for y'all, honey.
Damn it, I missed the show. Shit, I'm so tired. I'm a mother. After all.
Keke Palmer is a Keke, honey. Keke Palmer is a Keke on Beyonce's internet, honey. But Keke Palmer, Usher did their video, Boyfriend. The video is out right now. Go check it out, honey. Keke was hyped to be working with Usher, honey. She been trying to work with Usher forever. This was the perfect opportunity, baby, honey. Out now, called Boyfriend. Yes, honey. I'm really ready for this Usher Confessions Part 2 album. I've been ready for the Usher Confessions Part 2 album. I don't know what is taking Usher so long with the Confessions Part 2 album, honey. Do y'all think that Darius and Keke was in on the tea to help Usher push this Confessions Part 2 album? Let me know in the comments. I hope that young man did not fumble Keke Palmer, baby, and we all watched that. I hope that young man did not fumble Keke Palmer in real time. Shout out again to Keke Palmer for helping Usher come out with this Confessions Part 2 album. I want Usher to hurry up and come out with this Confessions Part 2 album. I need this video to be pushed and promoted as, a queer video. It's two queers. It's two people on the bisexual spectrum. Usher and Keke Palmer is both, queer bisexuals. If y'all didn't know that, look it up. Thank me later, honey. Yes, y'all didn't know. Y'all, everybody act like they don't know Usher was bisexuals and how Usher had gave that man them herpes that time. A lot of y'all act like y'all didn't remember Usher giving that man them herpes. I think that this might be the reason why Usher ain't came out with that Confessions 2 album yet. Because I don't think Usher wants to talk about his attractions to men and herpes. Now, baby Usher, honey, I feel like you playing this situation all wrong. If I was on your team, honey, I would have you and your wife out, honey. She would be out promoting unconditional love for the black man, as well as promoting, sex positivity and the fact that she is dating, you know, an openly bisexual man, honey, I would have y'all. Usher scared to do them interviews. Usher know somebody gonna ask about the herpes in the men. That's my opinion. What do y'all think? Why do y'all think Usher ain't came out with this confession album yet? Let me know. But tell Usher to come on out. Tell Usher to come on out, do the confession album, honey. You know, hire me. Put me on the team. Put me on the team, Usher. I got all the points that you need for the herpes and being attracted to the men. I got you. Thank me later. Call me. Hit that link. Hit that link in the description. All right, y'all. I'm getting ready to get up out of here. But before we get up out of here, honey, I just want to give a shout out to the Riverboat. I want to give a shout out to the Montgomery Riverboat Warriors. Honey, yes. Shout out to them. Beautiful gowns. I love to see it. Great presence. Great stamina. You know, I love it. Cracking crackers. Shout out to them, baby, honey. I don't know if y'all seen this tea. Or if y'all heard this Breakfast Club tea. It's a kiki.
Hey, Jennifer, who you want to give donkey to?
Yo, so the people at Bathurst who got their ass whooped in Montgomery.
They deserved it, though, didn't they?
They did. And they own a gas station in Selma, Alabama. And I work at the hospital, and they came in the hospital scared to death last night.
Oh, you went over there last night?
I actually work in Selma, Alabama. I'm a contract worker at the hospital.
Oh, so you see some of them people come in there, and they were scared to death?
They were scared to death. They called the police. They said, oh, everybody's niggas in here.
They said what?
Yeah, that's what they said.
They said everybody what?
Are niggers in here.
So you saw them at the hospital. Were they like a lot of injuries? Anybody teeth knocked out?
Oh yeah, they like one lady. It was 3 men and 1 woman. The woman had a fist print in her face, on the left side of her face, and it was huge. Or what have you. I mean, don't get me wrong. I was tickled, but I was thinking to myself, like, y'all deserved everything y'all got.
You know, the messed up thing about it is, I mean, it is. I like that term. It tickled me too. You got a footprint, but then they come to the hospital. Now they coming to the black nurses to get some help.
Exactly, and then they looking at everybody like, oh my God, everybody's black, everybody's a nigger. And then they called the police, and the police told them, hey, you either get treated or you leave. And they left.
So you mess with black people, fucked around and found out, got your ass beat, got a footprint in your forehead, then you go to the hospital and you're like, oh, there's more of them here.
The footprint on your face is crazy. Hello, who's this?
Footprint on your face is crazy. Footprint on your face is crazy. Baby. Honey. But it takes us into the next story.
Stop. Come on. Oh. Right.
Folding chair revolution still exists, people. I don't want y'all to forget, honey. This is a change in the tide. Honey. Wade in the water. Honey, if you seen if you ain't seen my Instagram video, bye Ashon got me distracted. If you haven't seen my IG video about the riverboat, honey, click on that link and go to my IG page. Click on that link in the description, go to my IG page and look at that riverboat video posted. Honey, if I must say so myself, it's a kiki. All right? Honey, now, you know, before we get up out of here, we got to give a shout out to a black transgender woman. Well, we got to give a shout out to a woman of color. This week, it's a black transgender woman. Honey, I want y'all to go see Kokomo City. These are all the options available for watching right now. Yes, honey, yes. Good movie. And the movie was made by D. Smith. I'm not sure if y'all know that, who is a black transgender woman. The movie features black transgender women. It is a documentary. baby, it's everything you wanted in a black trans reality show wrapped up in one movie. The movie is short. It's only a little over an hour. Support black art. Support black trans art. Support trans art. Support women. Support black women. Support black trans women. Go and see the movie. The movie is over. And yes, the trade is in the movie talking, honey. And the trade is making some points. The trade is talking about their own attraction to the trans woman. I guess these would be tradie butch queens, though, because they out. Remember, we was talking earlier about a tradie butch queen, honey, that I had to kick out of my house, honey. And yes, honey, the difference between the trade and the tradie butch queen is the tradie butch queen is actually a king. The tradie butch queen is secure enough in his sexuality to be who he is for his pride. Don't hide. Yeah. Shout out to Kokomo City, honey. Go watch Kokomo City. Shout out to all the girls that was in Kokomo City, honey. Yes. Lovely. Beautiful gowns. Sundance award-winning movie. Yes, honey. Yeah. Shout out to D. Smith for making Kokomo City. Are we going to play today or no?
Hey guys, my name is Dee Smith. I am a two-time Grammy-nominated producer. I produce for people like Lil Wayne, Andre 3000, Katy Perry, and I decided in the middle of all that, you know, I'm gonna transition. And I did that and I went broke less than 2 years. When I say broke, I mean sleeping on everyone's couch for years. No one would call me. I stopped working, it just stopped. So a few years ago, I decided that I wanted to create a film. I reached out to like 5 directors that I knew, and they all said no. I was like, I have this great idea. And he was like, nope. I was like, oh. And they said nope. I said, oh. They didn't help, honey. They paid it. So I reached out to another friend, and I asked him if he could purchase me a camera and a nice lens, and he did it. Where did they do that at? And I shot the documentary myself. It made it to Sundance. Kokomo City will be featured in the next category this year at Sundance. So the film is about 4 Black transgender sex workers. They allow us into their world in the most intimate, honest way, and we explore the dichotomy between them and Black men and the Black community. Something we should have talked about for years ago, but it's here now, and we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it.
I wonder if that person who gave her that money for that camera was her man. And also, rest in peace to the sister Coco the doll, whose life was taken shortly after. Rest in peace to Coco the doll, whose life was taken shortly after the Sundance Film Festival. That's all I got for y'all tonight, honey. Y'all know what it is. Monica said whoever did her implants did it. Yeah, shout out to D. Smith, honey. Yes, go watch Kokomo City, baby. Won't be a waste of your time. If you like me, you'll love it. But yeah, I'm going to get up out of here. I held y'all long enough. Sorry for the long post. I'll make the edit shorter. Peace, love, and blessings.